Hello. Welcome to the stream. We're here in Unreal Engine this time. I was able to import the character into him with no real problems at all, and I also did some kind of small changes to him off stream. Just little bits and tweaks here and there to get him to look just right. I mean, he's not perfect. I'm gonna probably have to adjust him like way later in the future, of course. I'm just glad that I have a finished model here that I can import, and he looks pretty decent, you know, not gonna lie. I changed the way I did the hair. I believe I did that off stream. So instead of it being like these flat little floating planes that just kind of float there, they're like actual little curves, little extruded, like, I don't know, tubes of hair that kind of come out from the middle of his head. They don't look too bad. Like I said, maybe later I might want to do something different. I'm not sure. But enough about the model. We're in Unreal Engine. We made it. We made it, fellas. We made it this far, and here we are in Unreal Engine. And the goal for this stream is we are going to just work on getting the character to move, and then we're gonna probably do some animations, and then maybe we'll make them jump even. That could be fun. And then if we get really into it, we can probably have them do like a dodge roll or something. I don't know if we'll get that far, but yeah, as of right now, all I have is I'm trying not to use like a template or anything. I know Unreal Engine has like the third person template or anything. I just started a blank level. I put this cube in there, I gave it a sky atmosphere, and I just have my model in here all ready to go. We're gonna start from scratch. So without further ado, I suppose we should probably get right into it. Let's see. I almost wonder if I should, I'm not entirely sure how I want to organize this, but maybe I'll just have a folder called models and then put this in there. Now I have a characters folder. I'm gonna eventually have like a props folder, like a you know, other things, and there's gonna be like other characters as well besides Jimmy, of course, so we'll add those as we get to it. And then I'm thinking we can add like so I move, yeah, so this doesn't need to exist anymore. That's fine, because yeah, all right, we're good, everything's good. I'm gonna add a new folder, call it blueprints. So the way Unreal Engine works is it uses blueprints for its coding. Now, this project right here that I started is a C++ project, because you can do both as far as I'm aware. So like if I add, yeah, you can still add a blueprint. I don't know why I can't speak. We want a player controller, and we'll just call this player. We'll just do that. Or wait, do we want to, I don't know if we want a player controller. I think we want a actor. Yeah, this isn't what we want. Right, yeah, no. We want it's been a while since I've done this. Either want an actor or a character. I think we want a character. So I'll just do that, and then I just want to get rid of this. And then just, there we go, that's better. So we have a character, yeah, that's better. For the mesh component, we want our model. So that would be this, beautiful. And that blue arrow is the forward direction. And since Unreal Engine uses a different forward facing direction than Blender, We're gonna have to rotate them. Just like that. And then let's bring our capsule collider down to, let's give that a try. The scale, I want to bring it down. Can I not bring the capsule component downwards? Apparently not. That's kind of weird. Let's make it a little smaller. Just kind of trial and erroring it here. Just want it to fit Jimmy's size here. And I also want his feet to be as close to the bottom as possible without clipping through. So I think I'm gonna have to try that. That works. Yeah, that works. And we can also probably bring in the radius a little bit. Like that. So this is his collision. We're about to start some homework? Hell yeah, welcome Will Joe. Like I said, we're gonna work on the movement of the character and whatnot. So I'm just getting the player controller set up here. Just to make these numbers even, I'm just gonna go 59 and 21. Beautiful. All right, so now, what we have to do is, so this is just the model that I just brought in here, but we don't want that. We want the blueprint, the blueprint of our player character. That's my alarm. I set an alarm at 3:30 to know when to wake up because it's just the joys of working third shift. So that's fun. Let's see. I suppose we can start working on this now. Audio only gang rise up, that's right. Yeah, I still gotta connect up my Ethernet cable over here. I still haven't done that yet. Oops. I'm just gonna minimize this real quick because I totally don't have a cheat sheet for the code over here. Don't look at that. I'm not cheating, I promise. All right, we're making the character move today. He's right now he's just kind of standing there, not doing much. We're gonna make him move. Another thing that we want to do to get it set up is we need to let's see, under maps and modes, we need to make a new game mode. So I'll just game mode base, and we'll just call this BP game mode. This is going to tell the game that we want the player character to be the blueprint that we made. So I think that's this. Yeah, there we go. And then we're just gonna tell it that that's the game mode we want. Beautiful. Oh, right. We also need, there's so many things we have to do. We also need a camera. So this is gonna be a third person game. I probably wouldn't have modeled this entire model if it wasn't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a spring arm. That's what they call it in this. And yep, that looks good. And then attached to the spring arm, new game mode, just walking simulator. I mean, that's Death Stranding. You've just described Death Stranding. That game already exists. We're also gonna add a camera. There we go. Now we have a camera. Beautiful. And ideally, when we play it, it should show us the point of view of the camera. Ideally, but that's not how it's working. May or may not have forgotten something, but I don't know what. There's gonna be a lot of that in this. I have less experience with Unreal Engine than I do with Blender. I mean, I've fiddled around here and there in Unreal Engine making prototypes and stuff, but there's still a lot of figuring out that I need to do when it comes to this. Does that have something to do with the game mode? Let's see. Game state. Player controller. Does that have something to do with that? Hold on. Let me see where this player controller, this proverbial player controller, maybe it has something to do with it. Yeah, technology is hard. You are absolutely correct. Technology is hard. It tells you exactly what to do, but in an extremely vague way. So you gotta just sit here and be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? How do I do the thing? I know you're telling me, but I don't understand. I understand not. Seriously though, where is this player controller? See, it's loading this player controller from a reference in the actual engine itself. I just don't know where it is. There's so many folders. Oh my gosh. I has a camera. I mean, I'm a little groggy. I've been fighting this nasally thing all of the past like 2 weeks, and I also just woke up, so that might be part of it. But yeah, no, that's about it really. Oh, you know what might help? Maybe. I don't know if this is a thing, but actually I'm gonna get rid of this and I'm gonna start dragging a player start. That seemed to do nothing. Okay, cool. I don't know what I'm doing. Selected. Okay. There's this little drop-down menu called selected game mode, and it's given me stuff. What if I change this to the player? Ideally, it should spawn in the player and then show me from the camera I dropped in. And that was it. All right, there we go. We figured it out. We figured it out, gamers. We did it. There's always internet tutorials if you're lost. Dude, I have been surviving on solely internet tutorials this entire time. I am not trained in any of this whatsoever. I'm just fumbling along. That's all there is to it. All right, so now that we're able to press play and see the player, now we can go ahead and continue. So based on this cheat sheet I have over here, all we're gonna do is, we did take 90%. You know what? That's true. You being here gave me the strength and the courage to carry on. It's just like the Japanese animes. That's how real life works. But anyways, right, we need some inputs. Those are probably important. We're gonna come into input here. I have my PS4 controller right here, and I also have this thing called an 8-bit do, which is it's just like Kingdom Hearts. I believe in the power of my friends. My friends are my power. But yeah, I have a PS4 controller that we're gonna do here. Access and action mappings are now depreciated. Please use enhanced input actions and input mapping context instead. What? Excuse me? Excuse me. Did you change the way? Yeah. Uh-huh. It's the... Yeah. Okay, so it's this. Why are you giving me scary yellow text? Are you gonna use Visual Studio for the programming? That's the plan. So basically, I'm gonna do the programming in Blueprint, and I'll get on that in just a second, so that I can explain what that is. But just to kind of get the basics down and to just like get what I want onto the screen. And then later on, when I'm optimizing everything, I'll load up Visual Studio and do the programming in that, basically translating what I made in Blueprint over in C++. That's the idea. But yeah, for now, let's add inputs. So we need 2 inputs here for, let's see, this will be, actually, technically we need 4 of these. Just gonna add 2 more. One of them's gonna be move forward. Then we need move right. Oops. Then we need look up and turn. Now, theoretically, this should work. Sure does. All right. So left stick's gonna make us move. Right stick's gonna make us look. Just like any Kingdom Hearts. All right. So now that we got our inputs, let's go ahead and reference those. So I'm just gonna add. So the entire programming in Unreal Engine, as far as Blueprint goes, is all node based. So I'm just gonna add in input axis, look up. I'm just gonna add in all these. So we also made turn. Oops, that's not what I want. We also made turn. Which probably input axis turn. Nodes are like these nodes are just basically the commands that you would type in C++. So once I add all these, so all the inputs I just added, I'm just making a reference to within the player, so that basically the moment I press up on the left stick, then the whatever's connected to move forward is gonna fire. And then if I press right on the left stick, then whatever move right is connected to is gonna fire. Same with turn and same with look up. And then anything it's connected to is just gonna fire sequentially as I go along. So yeah. As far as look up and turn goes, I just have here add controller pitch input. So whatever the value, so the axis value is how far I pushed on the stick. So like if I only press the stick like halfway to the top or whatever, because this is look up, then the value's gonna be 0.5, so that's gonna apply to this. So it's gonna add it to the controller pitch input, so it's gonna look up at 0.5 the rate it usually does if the stick is pressed halfway. I don't know if I'm explaining that good, but that's the idea. I connected a camera to the player using what's called a spring arm, and I just connected the camera to the spring arm. It can't, well, I'm just programming in the ability to rotate it at this current moment. So we also need add controller yaw input for turn. Now, it's adding this to the entire player, not just the camera. So whenever we press right on the stick, it's not only going to turn the camera, but it's also going to turn the player as well. And we're going to fix that in just a second. I'm just going to add in the stuff for the movement. So all it is add movement input, and we're going to duplicate this so that it applies to both. Now it doesn't know yet what kind of movement input it's gonna be adding. So we gotta connect these to the scale value, and then we're gonna figure out how it's going to move the player. So we're going to get control rotation. I think I spelled that wrong. Programmable guy on a cloud for the camera, yeah. I'm literally programming Lakitu. It's true. We're also going to do this. We only want the yaw rotation. So basically, I'm gonna get the control rotation, which is the rotation of the character, basically. We're only going to get the yaw input, which is rotation left and right, and then all the other two values are going to remain at 0. And then we're going to get forward vector. Oops. So this is a vector value for the direction he's facing forward, and that's going to be added to the movement input for forward. And then get right vector. This is going to be the vector value for whatever direction is to the right of the character. And then that's going to be added to that. So if we save it and run it, theoretically, we should have movement, and we do. And we can also rotate the camera. We can't rotate it up or down yet, but we'll get to that. Even though we literally programmed it to. It's because the controller itself can't look up and down. But we're not trying to rotate the controller, we're just trying to rotate the camera. So, this is the part where I didn't screenshot anymore for my cheat sheet, so I just gotta kind of come in here and remember what I have to check and uncheck. I believe under character movement, we need to just kind of search for it. Let's see. I think it's under rotation, if I didn't pass it up. I think I passed it up. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Rotation settings. This one. Not this one. Just we want to orient rotation to movement. So if whatever, yeah, I don't play with inverted camera. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll make that a setting eventually, but yeah, it just doesn't feel right. So whenever the character moves in any direction, theoretically, it should rotate the entire controller to the direction of the movement. Now we want to, under the spring arm settings, I believe it's just that, or we want use pawn control rotation. Give that a try. Trial and error, baby. Let's do it. Well, we can rotate up and down now, but it's still rotating the character as we do it. So I wonder if I uncheck those two, what'll happen. Okay. Never mind. And now it's not even rotating the camera. What if we do it the opposite way? Let's give that a try. Nope, that ain't working either, and I can't rotate up and down. Neat. Trial and error, baby. Trial and error. Find what settings I have to activate. I believe there's some settings I still have to change in the actual character here. Just looking to see. Imagine if real life was third person. I'd imagine that would get very disorienting really fast. I know there's some YouTube videos out there where it's like, I survived 24 hours in third person. Whoa, and they have this like whole system where it's like they have a VR headset connected to like a backpack camera that with like a boom arm. And it's like, whoa, how long can I survive in third person? Very clickbaity. Let me try messing with these just to see what that does. It was working, that's for sure. So, okay. I think I'm onto something. So we want to uncheck use controller rotation yaw, because that was checked. I also checked use controller desired rotation, and it says if true, it just says smoothly rotate the character towards the controller's desired rotation. Okay, so it just makes it smoother, I think. I don't know, I'm still learning. People in the third dimension probably saying second person was disorienting. Dude, true, so true. But there we go, okay. We did it. We did the thing. He can move now. He can move in the ways that we want him to move. And we can also orient the camera around him. And he's good. He's our little T-posing boy, and he's moving. So there we go. We did the thing. We did the thing. We did the thing. Beautiful. All right, so what did I do? I should probably come in here and try and see what I did. So all the way down here, all the way down, I checked orient rotation to movement so that if nothing else is controlling the rotation of the character, then the character is going to rotate in the direction he's moving, which is good. I don't think you need use controller desired rotation on. I'm actually going to turn that off to see what that does. I also turned off use controller rotation yaw, because that has been driving the rotation of the character whenever we rotate the controller in the yaw direction, which is, if I remember correctly, left and right. Yeah, yaw is left and right. So we want to turn that off because we don't want the character to rotate when we turn the camera. Then in the spring arm, we said use pawn control rotation.
whatever that does. I just know that that needs to be on. Let's see. This component is placed on a pawn. Should it use the view/control rotation of the pawn where possible? Is the question it's asking, and if checked is yes. So I think that has something to do with, I don't know. I'm not gonna try and explain it because I don't understand it. And then the character movement. If it didn't work, I was gonna say movement overrated. Dude, movement is overrated, so true. So true. Let's see, I also checked orient rotation to movement under character movement. Are these the same settings? So under the blueprint itself, if I go all the way down here, I checked orient rotation to movement, which is under the character movement. So these are the same settings. I'm now coming to realize. So that's fun. I think that was the only problem, was just I unchecked that. But anyway, we can move on. I'm just trying to understand this for myself. So yeah, for right now though, the player is kind of, if we come into the play mode here, you can kind of see that his feet are kind of hovering above the ground a little bit. So we could probably fix that. And that's only fixed by just moving the model down a little bit. Let's say about here. And it's okay if his feet clip into the ground a little bit. They're allowed to do that as a treat. I just want to see. No, he's still floating. He's still floating there. He's still floating there. Why are you floating? We don't need you to float. What if I just like drag you down like a lot? Is it still gonna float? Not as badly. Okay, we are making progress. We are in fact making some progress. Let's go ahead and drag him down just a little more. Maybe like that. There we go. Now his feet are touching the ground. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff we got here. I'm just gonna make that an even 60. There we go. We can rotate the camera above them and that all works fine and dandy. Preston's making us use the god-awful webpage he made. I feel like I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. What's it look like? Is it one of those like old 90s style websites where it's like the really tiny font against like an obnoxious background and you're trying to find like the hidden link among like all this text and it's not like formatted correctly? Those are some of my favorite websites. Or is he using like a template website maker like Wix? Graphics design is my passion. It's true, so true. I was gonna say, or is he using like one of those like template website designers like Wix or something? Just way too busy. Gotcha. Another thing that I'm kind of hoping to do maybe is I almost kind of want the camera rotation to like, when I rotate the camera above the player, I'd like it to also zoom the camera out. But before we do that, that's delving into territory where I don't understand what I'm doing. We can probably add in some animations and work on that. So basically what that means is we're gonna have to minimize Unreal Engine for a bit as we go back into Blender. So let me just load up the character real quick in Blender, and we're gonna make some animations. At least we got movement done. Movement is good. Yeah, animations sound fun. Yeah, y'all like walk cycles? Y'all like run cycles? We're gonna try that. So basically what I'm gonna do is see, because what I want to do is I want to have like an idle, obviously. I want to have a constant like walking speed and a constant running speed that you switch between. Now, what we could do is, so the way I have the movement working currently is as I gradually move the stick forward, he moves gradually at that speed. I almost wonder if I can have like a set walking speed, and then once the stick is past a certain threshold, he transitions into a set running speed. All my homies love walk cycles. So true, so true. So we gotta determine what that walking speed is. But first, let's just make an idle animation. That should be pretty simple. So we're just gonna make a new action. We're gonna call it idle. And we're just gonna kinda do a thing. I'm also gonna add a plane underneath them, just so we have an idea of where the floor is. And then we're just gonna kinda wing it. Does he sneak when you barely push forward? I mean, maybe. We could do that. For now, when I barely push forward, it's just gonna be like his walk. Him be walking. Maybe there will be stealth mechanics. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see where this whole thing goes just yet. I'm just gonna kind of have him like, I don't know, maybe lean back. And then and all of these animations can be changed in the future. None of this is gonna be set in stone quite yet. I'm just gonna kind of bring his arms down here. Sneak King, yeah, dude, I've always wanted to try playing Sneak King. I'd love to see if I could get a copy of that somewhere. I also want to try out their like racing game, their like Mario Kart spin-off. I just love the fact that it's like they don't, like McDonald's has like mascots, like, you know, cartoon, you know, mascots or whatever. The Burger King mascots are just like, it's just the Burger King and then just random people, like random real ass people. And they're in these like silly go-karts or whatever. Like in Sneak King, you have to like deliver burgers to like a construction site filled with like normal people. I don't know why that's so funny to me. And they're all like weirdly mo-capped really well. It's another thing. God, I want to try playing that someday. Alright, we're just gonna kind of relax his hands here a little bit. I like Jessica Patrick in the Sonic Racing game, really. This is real ass person in this cartoon video game. So we're not gonna worry about like blinking yet. He's just gonna be forever staring into the middle distance. Until I can set up a system for that. So you can actually layer animations on top of each other and then have them like take priority. So like if I only animate the eyelids, then like I could still have them in as idle animation and then also blend in like eyelids blinking or whatever. Only person alive who could say she beat Sonic in a race. Damn, that's true. That's true. It's truly the fastest being alive now. Can't believe it. Just gotta kind of bring the elbows in here a little bit. Maybe bring the shoulders down a little more. Hold on one second. I got someone knocking on my door. Give me just one moment.
Yes. Hello, Faye.
Hi, Faye.
Hi. Another member of the family. All right, you do that. All right. All right, I am back. I was just the victim of having a giant Snorlax plush thrown at me. So that's fun. Anyway, we kind of got the character here in a nice semi-relaxed standing position. I'm thinking maybe eventually I want to change the way these bones affect the shoulders because it seems like a little bit too broad. Pokemon plush tier list. I mean, so far we only just got the one. Just that Snorlax plush. But yeah, maybe. I'm also gonna set the frame rate to 60. $100 feel clears. Damn. So I'm thinking this animation, well, it's gonna start here. Rotation. There we go. We got a keyframe. And I'm also, it's gonna loop for, I don't know, 5 seconds? How long is 5 seconds? So 5 times 60. What is that? That is 300, exactly. So we're just gonna make the end 300. This is gonna be a pretty long idle, because just gonna add in a keyframe right there. And then at frame 150, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can come in here. Here. Oh, you know what? I gotta add graph edit. That's what I have to do. Graph editor. There we go. So for the pelvis bone, it's gonna be standing here menacingly. No, eventually I'll give him a weapon. It's just gonna be like a small sword or something that he's gonna pose with, so that I could do that eventually. But I'm just trying to figure out how do I. So okay, here we go. I want the X and the Y to have a modifier, noise modifier. Apparently not the Y. Yeah, the X and the Y. That's side to side. I don't know why that's making him go up and down like that. Ooh, boy, he jittery. He's a very jittery boy. No. Okay, fine. The Z location. What's it looking like? Okay, that's front and back. I think it's grabbing from the local transform of the bone itself. So yeah, I think that's what's going on. We're also gonna add a noise for the X. So him be jittering. Jesus. All right, we're just gonna, oops, not that, offset. There we go. Oh boy. He's moving. He's moving. Oh boy. Okay, so we want the strength to probably be like 0.1. We'll do the same for this as well. As Parkinson's is a no judgment zone. It's true.
He's just really nervous. That's all it is. He's just really nervous. The scale we're gonna make like 5. Oops, that's not what I wanted. We're gonna make the scale like 5 for this as well. We probably want the scale to be higher. Let's try like 25. That's better. It's still way too fast though, so we gotta make it, try like 50. More trial and error, baby. Try like 75. Now I know these are some big hip sways. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. And I know we're gonna want the strength to be like 0.05 for these, so he doesn't sway as much. Cut popcorn with the microwave, be like. Exactly. There we go. That's what we want. Oh, and it loops beautifully too. Or so it seems. It is looping good, right? Yeah, all right. We got it looping. We got a nice looping animation here. We're gonna kind of try and do the same thing with the hands as well. I almost wonder if the scale can be, or the strength can be a little low. Cause he still be swaying like what the heck. Try that. We kind of want more subtle sways. Just to kind of make him feel a little bit more. That's better. That's much better. Beautiful. All right, let's do the same thing with the hands. So actually, I'm gonna see if I can copy and under the X location, paste it. Okay. So far, it's just... I'm just gonna copy this and paste it over to the other hand as well. See what that looks like. It seems like it's kind of disconnecting from the hand a little bit. I wonder if I adjust the phase. That doesn't seem to be doing much. What about the depth? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. We could just make the whole arm disappear. Sure, why not? Just for fun, as a treat, just make the whole arm disappear. All right, so instead of the X location, let's try like the Z location. Okay, that makes it go side to side. And then we can put that over here as well. One hand seems to be swaying more than the other hand. What if I make the strength a little higher? Just 0.1. He's a lefty, it's true. Because you know, if you have a dominant hand, then the other hand sways less. It's true. I'm just gonna make the strength a little higher just to kind of see what the animation looks like more dramatically. We just make the offset on one of them a little different. There we go. Swaying beautifully. Now we can just put the strength back to where it was. Because that is looking pretty decent. I'm just gonna... I think when I keyframed these, I accidentally had one of the hands like a little bit way too low, and that's the control bone was just kind of disconnecting a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of bring it back up here and just kind of re-keyframe it. So his hand can be a little bit more relaxed. It could be controlled a little bit better. So I'm just gonna do that and then do the same over here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, now his elbow bends as it sways, and yeah, that's better. Is there a way to make both hands equal? I mean, I could, but it wouldn't look as natural. Like, are you saying the exact position of one hand to be applied over to the other hand? I could, like, definitely do that. Like, I could copy the pose of one hand and then paste it over to the other hand, but it wouldn't look as natural. It'd probably look way too symmetrical. I mean, not that this isn't symmetrical looking anyway, not that it would really matter, but I don't know, just doing it manually makes it look a little bit more natural. For starting position, yeah, that's fair. I could do that. So there we go. There's an idle animation. So now what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna push it down. So now if we come in here to our nonlinear animation tab, we have our idle. Just sitting there. And there we go. And it loops semi-decently, kinda. The hand kind of jitters as it loops back to the start, but we can kind of just work with that as we continue going on with these. Of course, these animations can be adjusted as we continue down the line. So now I want to make a new action and call it walk. This will be our walk cycle. So what I'm thinking about doing for this is I'm wondering if I can give this a constant speed. So let's see, what would be a good speed? I'm thinking, well, let's see, how long is the walk loop gonna be anyway? I'm thinking 60 frames. So he's gonna take one step at frame 30 and a second step at frame 60. So I'm just gonna disable the idle for now as we work on this. So I'm just gonna keyframe the base position, and then on frame 60, I'm just gonna move it forward a set amount. Maybe like here-ish. Finally found this Escape early 2000s blue webpage. Hell, damn. Good job. Hell yeah. That's a decent walk speed, I think. I just gotta make the interpolation linear. That's a decent walk speed, right? Something like that. So basically for our walk, we're just gonna kind of bring the hips down a little bit. Maybe rotate them forward just a wee little bit. We're gonna move one foot in front of the other. And then we're just gonna kind of shift his body weight over to the foot that's in front. And then we're gonna take one hand, kind of move it back. And then the other hand, and then move it forward. Something like that. And then we're just gonna take his shoulders and just kind of make them follow the movement of the arms here. So let's see, how does that look? Now actually, for this foot here, the back foot, we're gonna kind of bring this back further. We're gonna rotate it on the X and bring the toes, just rotate the toes so that it's like he's picking his foot up off the ground and his toes are being left behind. So we're just gonna kind of plop the foot right there. Right to there. There we go. It's important to kind of get an idea, at least from the back and the front and the side, if the pose looks good on all these like major angles, then that means it's a good pose. So I'm actually gonna select everything but the base, and I'm actually gonna hide the base because we don't need it. We already have a set motion for that. I'm just gonna keyframe in the location rotation of all these bones, and actually I'm gonna drag that keyframe back to frame 0. And then we're gonna copy this pose, paste it to frame 60, which, yep, that's in the correct pose already, so we're good. Keyframe it, and then Control Shift V, and then keyframe it on frame 30. And we're actually going to make the interpolation mode for all of these constant. So it snaps to each position as he's walking. So it's a little bit easier to animate with. Except for this foot, which I want to still have planted in the ground. So I'm actually gonna change that to linear. That looks a little bit weird, I realize. I'm just gonna undo that real quick, and we're just gonna make this linear. There we go. So we're just gonna animate this so that on frame 25, let's undo the rotation. Just bring this down, and then just kind of keyframe it here, and just see what that looks like. So his foot shouldn't be sliding like that, is the thing. So that's something that we gotta kind of fix there. And I'm thinking I could take my little annotation marker and just kind of mark in where the tips of the toes are, so that when I get to frame 25, I can just move the foot to that position and then keyframe it. And then it's not perfect, but it works. It definitely works as intended. So actually on this frame, even though it is an exact, I almost wonder if by the time frame 30 hits, it needs to be at that position. I'm sorry if I'm just like rambling. I'm just kind of trying to figure this out for myself as I go along. That's fine. So let's see. Actually, I'm gonna delete this keyframe just for a sec, and then make it all constant. Ah, thanks, man. I'm just trying to figure things out as I go along. But I don't want there to be like a long, like, silent pause either while I'm doing this, because I want to, like, you know, kind of describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Streaming is just people rambling to themselves. I mean, that's true. That is all it is. That you do got a point there. You know what? I'm gonna take this keyframe and bring it to frame 30 and then drag it back. So I marked where, so the way walking works, if you need to know, is the foot where, oh boy, I'm actually gonna delete all these. I don't know why that's being weird. Okay, the foot that stays planted on the ground stays on the ground and doesn't move as you move the other foot forward. Because if it did move, then that would be unnatural. So when he takes the first step, the front foot on the first frame becomes the back foot on the 30th frame. So that's the walking speed that I want. So we're just gonna leave it like that. That's how walking works. And then we just gotta maintain that speed for when we do our next step. And I think there's a modifier that'll let me do that. I don't know how I managed to survive so long without knowing how walking works. It's truly a miracle. Listen, I've just been winging it all this time. I've just been sliding on the floor like a snake. I didn't know how any of this worked. Yep, that looks good. I don't know why. I don't have my graph editor up, that's why. You can only add modifiers if you have the graph editor up for some reason. And it's across the local Z location. So we have 2 keyframes here. And we're just gonna, depending on those wheels, depending on Heelys, you never learned how to walk until you saw those commercials for Heelys. And then that's when your life got back on track. It's true. So we need to repeat with offset. Yeah, there we go. So I added a cycles modifier, which basically takes the values of 2 keyframes and just continues it forever. So that walking speed I set from frame 0 to frame 30 will continue to be the case from frame 30 to frame 60. So the back foot that became the front foot on frame 30 should now stay in the same position if I draw it in with the annotation marker. So this is where the toes are. And if I keep going, that should be where the back foot stops on frame 60. Beautiful. All right. We did it. We did it, gamers. We have our walking speed set. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So now on frame 25, actually we need to just take all these and copy it to frame 60 because I accidentally deleted all those frames. Except for the base. The base we can hide. So all these bones, Control C, Control V, and there we go. Frame 25, we want this foot. This needs to be linear. And then we're just gonna rotate that. And then his foot's gonna remain flat on frame 25. Maybe more like on frame 20. And then for 10 frames, that's when it's gonna start curling up. So there he goes, foot's in that position. And then for his toes, we're just gonna, on frame 20, make sure they stay flat. And then make this linear. And then it starts curling up like that, and it remains in one place, and it's beautiful. And we've done beautiful work here on this day. So now we just gotta kind of do that for the other foot. I'm just gonna copy these frames and then bring it over to frame 50. Control Shift V. Because I copied the keyframes. That's right, not the pose. V. And then these need to be. How does he? Sorry if I missed that message. For some reason, I just got disconnected from chat. How does he fare on the walking speed tier list? Is he grandma slow or gay person fast? I kind of want movement to play a... Also, ooh. Alright, never mind. It's not going to be that simple as far as copying and pasting the keyframes. Give me 1 second to figure this out. So, here, I want this to be linear. There we go. And then on frame 50, we're gonna bring this down here. I kind of want movement to be a pretty important aspect to this game. Mainly so that there's something a bit more interesting to do as you are engaging with the combat and whatnot. You're also like doing some pretty interesting like platforming stuff, so you might be moving pretty fast. Might eventually be schmoovin'. But I'm also doing this walk cycle here so that you have a little bit more precise control over the movement speed here. Usually people when they walk, they have like a little bounce to them. So, well, now that we got the feet position exactly how we want it, and they're not, you know, sliding all over the place. Right now it just kind of looks like he's hobbling. But so far so good. So far so good. On frame 15, rolling's the fastest movement. I do kind of want to add in like a sprint mechanic, and I kind of want it to be similar to Mother 3 in that you hold down a button to, maybe it's like the block button or something, but like if you're holding an input direction and you release the button, then you can sprint faster for as long as you're holding an input. So I'm thinking, I always really loved the sprint mechanic in Mother 3, and I feel like that could offer a lot more movement options. I'm not gonna do like stamina or anything because stamina is the bane of all movement mechanics existence. So, and of course, I mean, there will be a dodge roll, of course, but you know, you'll also have that option to sprint as well. So that looks good. You're able to kind of move the pelvis up a little bit. And yeah, according to my sources, my trusty reliable source, Hanna-Barbera, people have a cartoon 8 for legs as they run. No, it's okay. All I gotta do is just delete the legs and then add in another mesh that's just a figure 8 as he's just rolling by. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's got some stamps. This man be stamping. Bam. You go boosh. Really steps hard with that leg. So, pretty good so far. Pretty good. I'm thinking of getting rid of the linear or the constant animation with the hands just to see what that looks like. It really does look like he's limping, isn't it? It's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, because of the way his body shifts as he's walking, you can kind of see that this hand sort of clips through a little bit, but maybe we'll get to that later. So right now, I just gotta copy the pose for all of these, and then on frame 45, I gotta paste it on the other side here. So that would be for these bones. So that, there we go. So now we gotta work it on both sides. And so far, I don't think I'm missing anything. Nope. There we go. Him be walking. Now he doesn't have like a hop to his walk yet, and usually when you walk and you usually have like a little bit of a hop to your step. So we'll get to that in just a second. We'll get to it right now, as a matter of fact. I just want to see what happens if we make the entire animation linear, just to see what that looks like. And yeah, so far so good. So I'm thinking when he lifts his leg up, maybe on like frame 15. Well, let's see. I think on these starting frames, I need to have the hips and both the arm bones go down a little more. So we'll just give that a try, and then just copy and paste that over here, and then invert it for frame 30. And already that's way more of a hop, which is good. It still looks very robot-y, and that's just because the animation is just going from one position to the other without any smoothing or like, you know, anything to it. And we still also got the hand clipping into, and this bone's kind of disconnecting a little bit as well. I have it start protagonist run would be sloppy looking as the game progresses. Run cycle gets more refined. So as the game goes on, he slowly learns more and more how to run properly. An interesting concept. Definitely an interesting concept. Oh yeah, already that looks so much better. I just added, so instead of the animation being linear for all of these bones, I gave it a Bezier curve so that there's a little bit of smoothing as it transitions from one keyframe to the other. I'm thinking on frame 15 I might want to give the hands a little bit like more movement over here. Like maybe I can rotate the hand bone a little bit and then sort of bring this up in a little more. We'll just keyframe that and then paste it to the other side here just to make that look a little bit better. How's that looking? Well, that looks pretty good. That ain't a bad walk cycle. Him be walking. There it is. Just gonna save that before I lose any of this. And it looks good on all these angles too. It doesn't like just look bad from one angle, like looks pretty decent on all sides here. Oh hell yeah, thanks for coming to the stream. Go take that power nap. You've earned it. Thanks for dropping by. I'm probably gonna stream next on Wednesday, so around 4-ish, doing some more Unreal Engine stuff, so yeah. Again, thanks for coming by, I really appreciate it. I'm just gonna work on the run cycle next, I think. I could just kind of push this down now. And we can see it here in the non-linear animation right here. We got our walk cycle. Very good. And actually, I think what I want to do is take the base here and then just delete all the keyframes, because I want him to just be able to walk in place now that we have a set walk speed, and then I'll determine the speed of the walk in Unreal Engine to like line it up. So once I get the walk speed right in Unreal Engine, ideally his feet shouldn't be sliding. So that will be how that works. And there we go. Oops. Beautiful. All right, walk cycle done. Go ahead and uncheck that. Let's make a new action. We'll just call this run. This will probably be the most complicated out of all of them that we do here. Just gonna change this to my graph editor. Now, for the run, it kind of starts with both feet up in the air. And then the speed is determined by the short period of time it touches the floor. So the feet don't touch the floor for as long as the walk cycle does. It's like running is basically just jumping in very small increments as you continue to move forward. So we're just gonna try and get an indication of that. We're also gonna just lean the body forward a little more, maybe tilt his head up. And then we're just gonna kind of get started on this by just doing something like that. We're gonna be bringing this foot all the way back here. We're gonna make this as dramatic as possible. And then the arms are gonna kind of flail as well. It's gonna be very good. I'm thinking maybe we start with a pose somewhat similar to this, and then maybe we bring this bone up just a little more. I don't know if I want his hand to go like behind him as he runs. I kind of want it to go out. So maybe we do something like that. That looks good from the side. Looks pretty good from the front. Looks pretty good from the back. So we'll go with that. And then this can just come up. And this can come in kind of like that. And we can maybe rotate it like so. I'm just gonna move these elbow controls up a little more, and then maybe this one up like that, just so that I'm able to control this elbow and bring it in front a little bit more. So it's gonna look like that. Looks good from this side, looks good from this side. Not so good from the front though. Maybe we can bring that elbow down a little. There we go. Maybe something like that. That looks better. From the side, maybe we can bring the hand up a little more. Just like that. And then, looks good from the back. Very good. What about this side? Yep, looks pretty good. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Not too bad at all. All right, so this will be our starting pose. Gonna keyframe everything. Add that there, and then this is gonna be 30 frames long, I'm thinking. So we'll just paste in the same pose there. At frame 15, we'll just invert it. And then we'll make everything constant, so it just kind of flips between the two. Very good. And he's really coming at you. Him really be schmoovin'. All right, and then halfway between 0 and 15 is like, there's no half frames in this, so I'll just say like frame 8 will be when the foot touches the ground, and it's gonna be like the transition crossover pose, where his foot's gonna be on the ground. We'll say right there. We're gonna move a hip down pretty dramatically because he's gonna be ready to make another movement. We're gonna move this foot forward, maybe down a little more as he's getting ready to kick in front of him. And then these arms are just gonna come down here as it's getting ready to make another step here. So this arm's gonna kind of be thrown back as this arm's coming forward. So we'll just account for that by just making this one go out a little bit further. Maybe we can bring the elbow back a little more. Like that, thank you. Gonna rotate that, maybe bring it out. Just kind of trial and erroring it here. Something like that. And I'm not worried about the fingers or having the hand open or close in any way. If I decide to refine this animation, then maybe I'll work on that later, but for now, I'll just kind of do it like that. There we go. So this elbow is going to kind of stick out a little further because it's being prepared to be thrown back as it reaches the second point of animation or whatever. So we'll just kind of go with that. And then on frame, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do it on the opposite side. And we have a very choppy run cycle going here. So now we need to determine when the feet hit the ground. So I'm thinking maybe frame 5 will be when that happens. So that's when, so I'm thinking from frame 5 to 10 is gonna be the duration of the foot being on the ground. So we'll just kind of plant the foot down, and then this is gonna determine the running speed. So I can actually get rid of these annotations because all that's gonna do is make me confused. That's not where the foot's gonna go specifically, just kind of my reference. So foot's gonna maybe start here, add a keyframe. We can delete that keyframe. And then maybe on frame 10, we'll put it here. So this is gonna be linear. And then we'll just kind of do the same for the other foot. So we'll just Control C, and then over here on frame 20, we'll just Control Shift V, keyframe it, delete this keyframe, and then for this one, we'll just Control C that pose, and then frame 25, Control Shift V, then paste it. Then this is gonna be linear. So now we kind of have the foot sliding on both feet there. So now that is going to determine the running speed. So I'm thinking we'll just take our base, we'll just delete all these keyframes here. And then on frame 5, we'll just draw in where the foot has been planted. So like that. And then on frame 10, we'll just kind of move this and then line it up. We should probably keyframe it first. That's probably important. And then we'll just do that. And then there we go. Now we can add in our cycles. Well, first this needs to be linear. And then on the Z location, the modifier, cycles, we'll make it repeat with offset in the beginning, repeat with offset at the end. So it's not gonna start at 0. The position of the base is not gonna start at 0 yet. I'm thinking maybe we can kind of make it start at 0. Oh boy, that's not what we... That's not what we want. Okay, that was a little sus. We only want that. Oh boy, he's being thrown across the room. Okay, we don't want that. We want something. I mean, it does work, at least. You could see as I move in between these two frames, the foot is firmly planted on the ground. And then after frame 10 is when it's going to be thrown back into the air again. And then on frame 20, this foot's planted and it sticks. So there we go. So that's going to be the running speed for that. I mean, honestly, not that I even really need to worry about the base movement here. I'm just glad that I was able to have the feet slide the way that they do. So honestly, I could probably actually delete all these keyframes and then just work on the running position while he's running still. Actually, I'm gonna hide the base. Just gonna get this out of the way, and we're just not gonna worry about it. So for here, I'm thinking let's actually, so like we did before, let's make the entire controls for the feet be linear instead of constant. That looks pretty good. It's looping very nicely. And I'm thinking, let's just see what it looks like when we take the rest of the bones. So these are good. And we're not worried about the, actually, let's work on the toes. Why don't we do that? That's probably important. So on frame 10, I'm just gonna take this keyframe and move it here. I'm just gonna rotate the position of the toes here, and I'm just gonna kind of make some small adjustments to the way the foot moves. So, because that is very unnatural. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant that there. So I'm gonna add a keyframe here and a keyframe here, so that the toes kind of slide in place there. And all this is gonna be, there we go. And then it resets back to where it was before. Beautiful. All right, so do the same for the other foot. Kind of take the position of these two bones, Control C, like these two bones on frame, what frame was it? I think it was this frame, frame 12. So that would be frame 27, pretty sure. You want to Control Shift V that, and then keyframe it. And then that should work, right? We want all this to be linear. Except on this frame, I want it to stay flat. There we go. That's more like it. So as the toes, as the foot moves back up, the toes kind of curl in a little more. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and hide all these bones. Or we'll select them and then we'll Control I to select everything else. And then let's make this Bezier and let's see how it looks. That's a pretty decent run cycle. It looks good from the back here. Looks pretty good from the side. He's just kind of hopping up and down there. Looks good from the front. We got that nice hop going. Pretty good. Pretty good movement we got going on here. So I think that is all of our animations done. We can just go ahead and push this down. And now we'll just worry about importing all of this into Unreal Engine, and then we'll get that started. There we go. I'm just gonna select all of these. I'm just gonna T-pose them real quick. Come back over to the layout. Go ahead and delete our plane. Go ahead and select our skeleton. Let's see if we can't just import or export the animations by themselves. We should be able to just apply it to the model itself. So I'll just call this animations. And then we'll do selected objects. We'll do, that doesn't matter. Only deform bones. And yep, that looks good. All right, let's go ahead and export it. And then we'll just come back over to Unreal Engine here. And let's see if we can't import them. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. Let's see if it works. I'm just gonna make a new folder here called animations. And then just kind of drag this in for Jimmy. Exported time. And that looks good. Let's see what happens. So far, so good. Everything's going according to plan so far. Not giving me any error messages just yet. Just keep going. Almost there. Yep. Alright. Yep, you're doing good. Doing great. I think they're doing the walk cycle now. So there we go. And then the run cycle. And yeah. Oh, we're doing more stuff, apparently. Very good. Very good. We like to see it. Yep, just keep going. Don't give me any error messages, please. Just keep going. Doing good, doing great. Keep filling that meter. You're doing incredibly. Until you give me an error message, in which I will take the controller sitting in front of me and throw it promptly at the computer screen. You're really doing a lot here, sitting there at 80%. I'm wondering just what you might be doing there. Oh, okay. So it imported the animations twice, but we have them, and here they are. So good. We could probably just delete these, because we don't need them. And here we go. We got our animations. Oh, there he is. There's the boy. He be running. He sure do be running though. That's the boy running. Running from all of his life problems. There he be. It's a very good run cycle, I have to say, for just winging it. And of course, I'll definitely, like, you know, adjust some of the weights and how, you know, things are working here and there. But for now, that's a pretty good run cycle there. Very good. Let's see what the idle looks like. Let's see how it loops. It loops pretty good. I like the loop there. Very good. We're not jittering that much. Very good. We like to see it. And what about our walk? Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, we're looping very nicely there. Oh, that beautiful sway. That beautiful movement. Oh, that looks incredible. Him be walking. And yeah, there we go. You know, I think that'll probably do it for now. I'm probably gonna end the stream because I'm a little tired. I might want to take a break. I'm thinking next stream we will apply all of these animations that we made to the character in the game so that as we move the character around, and my controller died. Oops. Well, it didn't die. It's just kind of timed out. It's just being a little butt. There we go. I also don't know why it's saying texture streaming pool over 24.301 budget. I'll probably tend to that if I need to. But yeah, as the character moves, I'll apply the animations to him, and then maybe I could do the thing I talked about earlier with the boom arm, where as it goes over the top of his head, I'd also like it to zoom the camera out as well, and then we'll get to that. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't do much in Unreal Engine, but at least we're able to have the character move around here, and we also made some pretty good animations, so yeah, thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for watching the VOD on YouTube. And I'll be streaming on Wednesday to do those things I mentioned. So yeah, thank you very much. I will see you then. Take care. Goodbye. Goodbye.